Hi, I'm Carter from Garden Crossings, and today I'm going to show you how I'm going to install this drip irrigation in this bed that we just planted here. So with this drip irrigation, we have these little holes in it that there's a little emitter, and with that emitter, it is going to put out 0.9 gallons an hour. So it's not like your typical sprinkler or like watering hose, you're going to do a couple gallons an hour. So because it's dripping, it's going to take a lot longer to actually soak these plants. So for instance, with the trees that we planted a few weeks ago, those ones are running for about 90 minutes. So that way there's getting about 1.5 gallons per hole every hour. So that way everything's being fully immersed in water. And with this, they are about every 1 foot apart. You can get them in 1 foot or I believe 18-inch spacings. So that way, for this instance, we decided to go closer because our plants are fairly close together and we want to make sure everything's getting water. So with it, I have this nice push-on coupling that's meant for this pipe, and you just push on it, rock it back and forth, and then one side is on. Then when we had the irrigation company come out, we had them place a stub in the ground, so you can see it down here, which is just a blank with no emitters on it. And when my sprinkler clock says it's time for this one to zone, water will just come out of there and then we'll funnel through this pipe. So once again, I'm going to take the other side of this coupling and just push it on just like that. So now when the zone is activated, water will be going through this brown pipe. So now I'm just going to try to lay it out in a U-shaped pattern. So that way we can make sure that everything's going to get watered for the front and the back row. And I'm just kind of throwing it in here for now to make it easier for when I come through and put some stakes in, which I just remembered I had to go grab. So we'll be back in a minute once I have this out. And there you go, just like that. It's all laid out, and I'll just go grab the stakes and then we'll pop them in.
The North Pole arborvitaes are doing really nicely. These were planted a few weeks back. We are creating kind of more of a privacy hedge. This is going to help reduce the sound from the busy road out front there. It's also going to create just more of a park-like atmosphere for the backyard of this house. So we'll put a link to the video of us planting these below so that you can see the process with getting all of these planted. These will all get about 10 to 15 foot tall when they're mature. So that's going to create just a really nice privacy border. So I think Carter just got back with his clips. So let's go ahead and check in with him and see what's next on the project.
I have these U-shaped pins. They're most of the time used for this, but there's many other things we use them for at the greenhouse, for like our ground mat and other such things, just to hold stuff down and to keep it in place. So what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to first move some of these pots out of my way so that way I have a nice line of where I'm going to put the stuff. And I'm just going to simply place this on the ground and put a pin in. And I'm probably going to put them closer than what most people would need to, just because I want to make sure that they're nice and I want to make sure it's not going to move. And I'm just going to kind of snake it around these plants. It's probably not necessarily needed, but I just want to make sure that I'm getting the most water around each plant as I can, so that way I'm not running them for hours on end. So I'm just going to continue snaking around right here. Make sure my leaves are on top of my pipe and not below. Just gonna loop around this hosta here. Once I have this all done, I'm gonna I have a pile of mulch left over. So I'm just going to add some more mulch on here to try to cover up the brown pipe to keep all the moisture in the ground. So that way there's a less of a chance of it evaporating back up. And because I'm fairly confident that we're not going to be poking annuals in here, I don't necessarily care that I'm not putting in nice straight lines, because it would be a lot easier if I knew we were going to be putting other stuff in here to go in nice straight lines. So that way when you're popping something else in, you know roughly where your pipe is, because you're guaranteed to hit at least 1 or 2 times throughout it if you're not sure where it is. I'm going to pull this out so it's not right on top of it. And sometimes you get a spot like this where it kinks. Depending on how bad the kink is, you might be able to just push it back to its original shape. But if it's a super bad one, you may need to just cut it and put another coupling in. And because this here keeps popping up, even though I'm going to put bark over top, I'm just going to put more stakes in just to keep it flat for now. And every once in a while you get it where the stake doesn't go in right, you can just slide it over. And there you go. Now all I have left to do is to make this little figure 8. I'm just going to take this, bend it back. So that's going to be what caps the water off, so that way it doesn't just come flying out the end of the pipe. It's just a little figure 8. I don't have one here right now, but it's just gonna, one side will be here, and then I'll slip it this way. I'll come back, I'll cut it down, and then put the other side here just so that way it keeps it pinched. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And I'm Carter from Garden Crossings.